Welcome to the Regroupement des aidants naturels du Québec's video to the attention of staff in the education sector. We will discuss the reality of young caregivers between ages 6 to 25 years old, challenges they may face, and repercussions on their day-to-day life. There are two types of young caregivers, primary and secondary. Young primary caregivers act in a direct way. In other words, they regularly care for, help, and support their loved one in difficulty, who may be a parent, a grandparent, a brother, or a sister who is ill, aging, or disabled. The young secondary caregivers, for their part, assist a parent who is himself or herself a caregiver. Consider the example of a teen whose younger brother has a physical disability. She has to contribute more to the daily chores around the house. She helps her little sister with her homework, she prepares her lunch, and makes sure she leaves for school on time. Young caregivers, both primary and secondary, provide much needed support. We see them visiting, accompanying, comforting their loved one, though they are not always aware that they have heavy responsibilities that most young people of their age do not have. In Canada, 28% of youth aged 15 to 24 provide care for a family member. That's a lot when we think about it. That's the equivalent of 3 students per class. What's more, this statistic does not include young people under the age of 15, so you can imagine the magnitude of this invisible phenomenon. Young caregivers may take on household chores, cooking, and grocery shopping, or assist their siblings with their homework. They may also take care of administrative tasks, pay bills, and contribute financially to the household. They pick up medication at the pharmacy, ensure that the medication is taken correctly, and develop an expertise in recognizing when their loved one's health situation is changing. They may also provide interpretation, for example in the family's native language or sign language. They accompany their loved one to health appointments and organize adapted transportation. Also, nearly half of them are awake during the night to care for the person they support. We believe that you can help them identify their situation and make it more enjoyable, as youth caregiving can be problematic for those who experience it. How can one concentrate in a math class when they are concerned about their mother's health? How to develop healthily with adult responsibilities at age 10 without ever having a break? The list of reasons to take care of young caregivers is long. Anxiety, overload, fear, dropping out of school, lack of leisure time. The consequences of the caregiving role can have negative impacts on all aspects of a young person's life: physical and mental health, identity development, social life, and educational pathway. Young caregivers are often captive of their situation, and it is very difficult for them to escape their responsibilities. They often lack the financial resources to improve their situation, and most do not have effective transportation to make their lives easier. Yet, if young caregivers were adequately supported, this unique life experience would be beneficial to the development of their social skills, their altruism, their ability to cope with adversity, and much more. Do you know a young person who is absent more often or seems more preoccupied, more tired, and whose school results are declining? Or a young person who is looking for attention, or on the contrary, is isolating themselves or being bullied? After talking with this young person, you learn that they are helping a loved one in difficulty and that they carry a lot on their shoulders. Now you can put a word to this situation: young caregiving. Fortunately, you can help. You already have many tools at your disposal to make a difference with the young caregiver in front of you. For example, giving them more time to do homework, being more flexible when teaching by adapting to the situation and by accommodating to it. You can make a big difference in their life, but don't take on too much responsibility. Some problems may remain unresolved. Acknowledging and putting words to the situation of young caregiving means giving a young person the power to understand their situation and the emotions that come from it, in order to promote resilience. There are several reasons why they fail to mention this information. First of all, in the majority of families, they do not realize the increased responsibility of young caregivers and its impacts, so they simply do not think to mention it. Others fear that the family will be deemed dysfunctional and that the young caregiver will be taken away from the family. However, families that adapt and help each other out in particular situations should be valued, especially since some cultures favor more than others the involvement of children in family responsibilities. Recognizing this is the first step towards a dialogue aimed at reducing responsibilities of young caregivers and encouraging moments of respect. Unlike other countries or Canadian provinces, in Quebec there are no services dedicated to young caregivers, but there are organizations dedicated to caregivers who can accompany them. Also, since one of the major needs of young caregivers is to live their lives as young people like any other, talk to them about youth organizations where they will find trained social workers and leisure activities adapted to their age. Would you like to know more about young caregivers? Find more information and recommendations in our guide Helping Young Caregivers Thrive. You would want to contribute to a mobilization movement so that young caregivers are better recognized and supported? Would you like to share your expertise or experience on this subject? Join us at www.rank.qc.ca/jeune